All right, well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are back on the record in State of Indiana versus Richard Allen. I'll show the defendants here in person with his attorneys. The state is here by the prosecutor and his deputies. All of the jurors are back. And is the state ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
The defendant, ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's bring in our jury, please.
All rise. Thank you. You may be seated.
Thanks, Jason. Thank you, Jeremy. Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's nice to see you back this morning. I just wanted to give you a minute there to kind of settle in and get your things together. I'm glad you're finding the ability to get yourselves comfortable over there. I know the chairs aren't the greatest in the world, so I appreciate that you've had the opportunity to make yourselves comfortable. I hope you had a pleasant evening. The attorneys have indicated they are ready to continue. Mr. McClelland, you may call your next witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. The State of Indiana will call Investigator Stephen Mullin, please.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Mullin, before we start, I'm just going to remind you to speak up as loud as you can. I know we were having some issues with the microphones yesterday. I want to be able to make sure that the jury can hear you and also the people at the defense table and myself. Fair enough?
Yes.
Okay, will you state your name, please?
Stephen L. Mullin.
And Mr. Mullin, how are you employed?
I am currently the investigator at the Carroll County Prosecutor's Office.
And how long have you been employed in that position?
Since January of 2020.
Prior to that, were you employed as a law enforcement officer?
Yes, I was.
And how long have you been a law enforcement officer?
Since 1983.
And did you go through any kind of special schooling or training to become a law enforcement officer?
Yes. I attended the Indiana Law Enforcement Academy in Plainfield, Indiana back in 1983.
And do you attend annual training seminars to update yourself on investigation techniques, new technology, anything that pertains to law enforcement investigations?
I do.
And do you do that on an annual basis?
Yes, I do.
In your capacity as the investigator for the prosecutor's office, what is your role?
Mainly, I follow up on cases that the prosecutor's office is investigating and handling. I organize and make sure evidence is handled properly so we can prosecute the case.
And for lack of better words, you're our tech guy. Is that fair?
I do that too.
So you set up computers, organize digital data, set up the TV for us. You do all those technical aspects that are needed in my office. Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay, I want to take you back to February 13th of 2017. At that time, how were you employed?
February 2017, I was the chief of police in Delphi.
And how long had you been the chief of police as of February 13th of 2017?
Since April 2014, up until the point where I was employed by the prosecutor's office.
And I want to talk a little bit about that day. Were you on duty that day?
Yes, I was.
And what was a normal day and routine activity for you as chief of police of Delphi?
As chief of police, I supervised the officers who worked the police department, made sure that reports and paperwork was completed, and also followed up on whatever was going on that day. And it was simply a routine day that day.
What shift did you routinely work?
I would normally come in around 7 o'clock, 7:30
a.m.
a.m., right? And then finish my shift around 5:30.
And did you do that on February 13th, 2017?
Yes, I believe so.
After you went off shift, what happened?
So I completed my shift around 5:30 or so and went home. And it's when I arrived home, I began hearing radio traffic concerning 2 missing girls.
Now, is it typical for an officer in law enforcement to carry their radio with them and have it on after their shift?
Yes, and I do that often.
It's typically for you, at least?
Yes.
Okay. And so you heard the two girls were missing. What did you do next?
The next thing that happened was I received some text messages concerning the two missing girls from citizens that were in our community, and I became concerned and then contacted dispatch and talked to them about the situation and learned that there had been two girls had been dropped off at the entrance to the Mears Trail or the Monon Trail and had been missing since around 1400 or so that day.
What is 1400?
I'm sorry, 2 p.m.
And did you find out the girls' identities?
Yes, they were Liberty German and Abigail Williams, both of them 13 years of age.
Judge, I'm going to ask permission for the witness to approach what's been marked previously as State's Exhibit 5, which is the map on the TV showing the area we're going to be talking about.
He may.
Investigator Mullin, I ask you to step down to the TV, and we're going to go a little bit old school here, Mr. Mullin, because everything I tried yesterday, high-tech, failed. And so I'm going to give you this pointer to point to different reference points that I'm going to ask you about. And Judge, I'd also ask permission from the court to publish to the jury. I've printed out a hard copy of State's Exhibit 5. I've provided that to the defense as well. And I'd ask permission from the court to publish to the jury so they can make notes on it. And as a fail-safe for the technology, just because it didn't work very well for me yesterday, so I'd ask permission to do that now.
You may. You may.
And Judge, I'm going to move these exhibits.
Okay.
I've been told by the bailiff that the jury's having a hard time
Okay.
seeing the screen.
Is that better? Okay.
Is that?
Yeah. It's better. Thank you.
Can the jury now see the screen? Okay, and Judge, I may stand back here just so I don't block the defense.
Okay.
And hopefully I can project my voice enough where the court reporter can see me. Investigator Mullin, I want to get back to the report. It was the girls were missing, and they had entered. And where was it they entered?
Our understanding was they entered at the Mears Trail entrance.
Can you point that out on the map?
Yes, this is the Mears Farm, and hence we call this entrance for the trail the Monon Trail, which is located right here, the Mears entrance.
And are you sufficient enough on that screen where you can zoom it in a bit?
Sure.
Okay,
Maybe, there we go.
there we go. Okay, thank you. Will you point out the Mears entrance again for the jury so they get a better view of that?
Right here.
And the information you had gathered at that point was that the girls had entered that entrance?
Yes.
What other information did you have?
They had been dropped off there and they had not returned when someone came back to pick them up.
Once you got that information, what did you do?
At some point then I went into the sheriff's department and went to dispatch and tried to assist in whatever way I could in order to locate the girls.
And you can have a seat back in the witness stand, please. Thank you. And in your effort to assist, did you reach out to Delphi Community School Corporation?
I did. I had several phone numbers for the officials at the school in my phone, so it was very easy for me to contact the school officials, principal, guidance counselor, and see if I could locate some friends or acquaintances of the girls so that we could perhaps find out where they had gone.
And after you did that, what did you do next?
One of the things I did next was I began making those photo calls to try to find someone who might know where they were at. And then I spoke with different people who were out maybe searching for the girls and trying to find out where they may have gone to.
Was there a command center set up at this point?
At that point, it was the sheriff, Sheriff Lazenby, who was leading the charge of trying to find the girls. And so I simply talked to him and assisted in whatever way I could, being chief of police, and tried to assist him in any logistics that he might need.
Did you participate in any of the search that was done that day?
I did not participate in any of the search myself. I never left the sheriff's department to go out on the trails. nor did I go out on the trails before I went to the sheriff's department.
Where did you post at, or where did you stay at while the search was going on?
I was in dispatch at the sheriff's department.
And did you stay there the entire day of February 13th?
Yes, I was there the entire day up until 2 o'clock or so a.m.,
2 o'clock a.m. on the 14th?
The 14th?
Okay. Is that when the search ended?
Yes, shortly before 2 o'clock a.m. we ended the search.
And at the point that the search ended, what were you investigating at that point?
2 missing girls. The information was that they were on the trails, had not returned. Most of the searchers out there were looking for maybe someone had been injured. We had no idea anything nefarious had happened to the girls.
And so at the end of your shift, which would be 2 a.m. on the 14th, you used the word nefarious. Can you explain that a little bit? When you left shift, or when you left the dispatch, let me back up. When you left the sheriff's department at 2 a.m. on the 14th, did you think anything bad had happened to the girls?
At that point, I still believed that given time, they would probably return home. I just, at that point, couldn't imagine someone had done any harm to them.
When did you come in next?
In the morning.
When you left at February 14th at 2 a.m., which is technically in the morning, when did you come back in?
At about 7:30 a.m., I arrived at the police department, and at that point, the girls were still missing, becoming more concerning, I thought. And so with that information, the social media had been pretty active about the girls being missing, and so there were a lot of people who showed up to help find the girls on the trails.
And what did you do at 7:30 a.m. that morning?
I met with the volunteers who were there, people from the community who wanted to go out and search, and produced a map to them, some of them, and also gave them my phone number to call.
At that point, was there some kind of meeting point or command center set up?
Yes, at the Delphi Fire Department at that time was located inside the city building, and so we met at the fire department.
And tell me the procedure of what would happen when people would come forward and want to help search.
Well, we took names of individuals and wrote them down on a sheet of paper and recorded there, and some phone numbers, I think, but mainly their names, and gave them information, a map about where to go, perhaps.
And so during that procedure, you were giving the searchers maps. And were you directing them where to search?
I was not directing them at all. I think the chief of the fire department, he was help assisting that aspect. I didn't really direct anybody where to go.
Do you know where the search party people were directed to go and look?
Obviously, we're going out on the Mullin Trail in that area. As far as sectors and areas where different teams were supposed to search, I didn't command that.
And I'm going to ask you to approach the map again, please. And can you point out to the jury what your understanding of what areas the searchers were searching?
So that evening and the next morning, the searchers are predominantly looking downstream. If something had happened to the girls, perhaps they had fallen or become injured or come into the stream, they were searching downstream. So the search would encompass this area here, along up into at the bridge. I think there was some searching on this side of the bridge, on the Weber side, and I think there was also some searchers who went to this area here, which is kind of a flat area up on top, and then there's a valley where the flat area, it's a sharp incline or falling area where I don't think anybody crossed this line.
And I have to remember that we don't have a jury from Carroll County, And so I want to put in context some of the landmarks that we're going to use when we ask you some additional questions. So first of all, I'm going to try this. If you could grab a pen and denote on the map where the city of Delphi is.
The city of Delphi is located over here.
And if you could denote that with an X, please.
The city of Delphi in this area and that direction.
And so would that be to the west of the Mullin High Bridge?
Yes, it would be.
And then can you denote the Freedom Bridge?
This here is the Freedom Bridge.
And the Freedom Bridge crosses, it looks like a divided highway. What highway is that?
The Hoosier Heartland.
We've talked about the CPS building. Can you denote that on the map, please?
Yes, the CPS building is located right here.
And we've denoted, or we've talked about prior to this, the Mears entrance. Can you circle that on the map, please?
Mears entrance is located right here off County Road 300 North. 300 North, sorry.
And can you label that as 300 North as best to your ability?
Yes.
Thank you. Can you also denote the Mullin High Bridge?
Yes, this structure, which is located right here, is the Monon High Bridge. So that area there.
And the section to the, I'm going to say northwest, is that commonly referred to as the beginning of the bridge?
Yes, this would be the beginning of the bridge.
Can you put a B on the map, please, for beginning? And then, where would be the end of the bridge?
This area here, the other side.
Could you put an E, please? Thank you. And where's the Deer Creek?
Well, Deer Creek flows this direction. It's the body of water that comes through town.
And just keep speaking up a little bit.
Yes.
And you answered my next question. Which way is the creek flowing?
It flows from east to west.
And can you put an arrow on the creek pointing to which way it flows? Thank you. Now, while you're there, there's been some testimony about the Hoosier Harvest Store. Can you locate that on the map?
Hoosier Harvest Store is here. I'll put an HH.
Yep, that's fine.
Located right here.
Okay. All right. Okay. So tell me again, to your understanding, where were people searching for the girls?
On the following day, on the 14th, the search began to encompass this entire area. But the evening prior to the 14th and even early in the morning.
Judge, may I ask a preliminary question?
You may.
Sir, you said a moment ago that you used the word thought, that they didn't go past a certain point. I mean, you also testified that you were at the police station when the search was happening, correct?
Yes.
So you don't know where anybody was other than through hearing other people, I suppose. Is that correct?
Yes.
I object to this speculation as to where people were searching.
I'll move on, Judge.
Okay.
Investor Mullin, you can have a seat back at the witness stand, please. Thank you. On February 14th, you were assisting at the fire station, was setting up or at least sending out the searchers. Is that a fair statement?
Yes.
Did you do that the entire day on the 14th?
Yes. I remained at the fire department or police department.
And so you never went out and assisted with the search on the 14th either?
No.
I want to draw your attention to around 12:15 on the 14th. What happened then?
At around that time, I received a phone call on my cell phone from Pat Brown, and he told me that he...
Well, hold on just a minute. Can't say what information or what did you find out from that phone call?
He had located 2 bodies.
And what did you do next?
I remained at the police department, informed the officers who were around me, and they left the city building to go to the area where he had said he had found the bodies.
And were you notified of where he found the bodies?
Yes.
And I'm going to ask you again to approach the map and, to the best of your ability, where is your understanding of the location of where the bodies were found?
He said that the bodies that he had located We're south of the Morning Heights Cemetery, which is located right here.
If you could mark it on the map, he's the pointer, I'm sorry.
Sure.
The Morning Heights Cemetery,
The Morning Heights Cemetery.
okay? And your information was the bodies were found where?
South of this location and somewhere close to the creek.
Can you put a circle where your understanding of where the bodies were found?
What he told me at that time, my understanding was somewhere in this vicinity.
Okay, all right. You can have a seat back at the witness stand, please. What did you do after that?
I remained at the police department, and sometime around 2 o'clock, we met with the members of the family who were still at the fire department. They hadn't gone anywhere else.
Members of what family?
Of the families of Abigail Williams and Liberty German who were present at the fire department during that day.
And why did you meet with them there at the fire department?
Myself, Indiana State Police Public Information Officer Ken Riley, and the chaplain met with them to explain to them more precisely. We had located 2 bodies, and we were at that point trying to make identification.
What did you do after that?
I remained at the police department, and around 7 o'clock I got a phone call from an individual, Tom Mears.
And did you gather information from Mr. Mears?
Mears told me that he knew that the Hoosier Harvest Store business had a set of cameras. They had security cameras at their location, which focused towards the roadway on 300 North.
I'm going to ask you to approach the map again, please. And if you'll grab the pointer. I know it's circled, but can you point out for the jury the Hoosier Harvest Store business?
This is the Hoosier Harvest Store business owned by Dan and Kathy Pennington.
And you gathered information that they had security cameras?
Yes,
Did you go to the business location?
I did.
And were you able to view the security cameras?
Yes, the Penningtons met me at the location, and we viewed the video that they had on their security cameras.
In which direction, the security camera you viewed, which direction was it pointing?
The security camera was located around at this point, and it had a view that went directly out to the roadway on 300 North and then panned to right about in here. Can I draw a line?
Yes. If you would draw, I guess, a field of view that you were able to see from the security camera.
The field of view was straight down the edge of the building. That's a little bit off, and then out towards this direction, maybe a little closer to that, but this is within the field of view of the camera.
And did you view the security footage?
I did.
And were you able to see 300 North?
Yes, I was.
And what time span did you look at?
We looked at a short period of time, mainly sometime roughly daylight, any daylight period of time was where we could see, obviously, cars. If it was dark, we couldn't see anything that was on the road. It's not visible in the dark. So mainly from around 8 o'clock, I think, until around 5:30 or so, 6 o'clock.
So 8 a.m.?
Yes.
And you viewed the security footage all the way through what time?
Around 6 a.m. when it began to get dark and we couldn't see anyone.
You mean 6 p.m.?
Did I do it again? Sorry. 6 p.m. Excuse me.
All right. And while you're viewing that security footage, what are you doing?
I used my cell phone at that time to take some pictures of the vehicles that were traveling on the road.
And what was the intent of that?
To preserve that information and make sure that we had pictures of the vehicles, some of them at least, so that then we could go back and try to collect the video.
And how long were you there at the Hoosier Harvest Store viewing that security footage?
We were there probably 45 minutes to an hour.
Okay, you can have a seat back at the witness stand. Thank you. I want to fast forward to 2024, I believe. We saw drone footage from a prior witness, and I want to talk about that drone footage. Can you describe to the jury how that drone footage come about?
Yes. Worked with Tippecanoe County Sheriff's Department, and they brought their drones up to photograph the area. We actually took the drone footage on February the 13th of 2024. We did it at that time because that was the best representation of the foliage that was in the area back in February of 2017, so it was pretty consistent with what we would have seen back then. The only differences were the improvements made to the bridge and the trail.
And that drone footage, or at least part of the drone footage you took, is what was displayed to the jury through Kelsey German?
Yes.
Was there additional drone footage taken?
Yes.
Was there drone footage taken from the Freedom Bridge to the Monon High Bridge?
Yes, there was.
And was that taken at the same time?
Yes.
Judge, I'd like to play that drone footage now. It's 9 minutes. And so the state's going to move to omit that drone footage. What I also like to do, Judge, is take a screenshot of this and admit it as an exhibit, as state's exhibit, I think 7. And also, while they're watching the drone footage, I'd ask the court leave to print this out. We can print copies for the jury to publish to the jury. They queued up.
Any objection?
No objection to any of that, Judge.
All right. Without objection, 6 and 7 are admitted.
And so, Judge, we'll need just a second to get...
Do you need to help him?
I feel like I do, Judge.
Okay. He feels he needs to help you?
I feel like he does too, Judge. Thank you.
I think you need to go back.
Steve.
You're not done? Get back there.
So, I'm going to have you married to the jury what we're seeing in the drone footage.
Okay.
Oh, you fast forwarded it. Okay.
Okay.
So where are we at now?
This area here you're looking at right now is the beginning of the trail. The trailhead pretty much was the same as here as it was back in 2017 without the improvements to the lane, which I believe started back into this area where they now have it paved.
Now you're referring to this as the trailhead.
Trailhead.
That's not what we've heard in the past from the other witnesses. Where is this on the map?
This is located at Freedom Bridge.
So this is beginning at Freedom Bridge?
Yes.
And that is the bridge, I guess, that was farthest west on the map?
Yes.
Okay.
The blue bridge over Hoosier Heartland.
Go ahead. If you could start the video again, please.
This kiosk was not there as well then.
And where is the drone footage moving? Where is it going?
It is moving along the main trail towards the high bridge.
And so, is this an accurate representation of what you would see if you started at the Freedom Bridge and worked your way down the trail towards the Monon High Bridge?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Except in 2017, this was not paved. It was all gravel.
And when this was done, when again? What date was this done?
The video was taken February the 13th, 2024.
And I want you to allow the video to run. And can you point out when we get to the Mears entrance?
Yes. this fence was not there at that time.
I need you to speak up just a little bit. You're not mic'd up, so everybody has to be able to hear you.
In 2017, this barrier or fence was not there either.
I would ask, in your narration as we move along, if there are other aspects that were not there in 2017. If you could point those out to the jury, just try to get an indication of what was there and what wasn't there in 2017 as opposed to 2024. Are we approaching the Mears entrance at this point?
Very close.
Were there benches on the trail back in 2017 that we see there?
Yes.
To your knowledge, all the benches that we've seen on the video, were those also there in 2017 as well?
To my knowledge.
Okay. Just go ahead and let it play. Is this a Mears entrance we're coming up on now?
Yes.
German testified about going straight down to the creek trail. Can you point that out, please?
Stop it real quick. Easier. The back just a little bit. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Go ahead and let it play. But the trail that we saw to the right was the trail that Mr. German was speaking about.
Yes.
From the Mears entrance to now, where are we still headed toward the Monon High Bridge?
If my bearings are correct, we are moving towards the High Bridge from the Mears entrance. Okay, and now you're just coming into view of the High Bridge entrance.
And in 2017, did the entrance to the Monon High Bridge look like it does on this video?
No.
What improvements have been made since 2017?
Since 2017, they have installed a deck area, making it easier to walk out on the bridge, safer, and the railing on both sides, and the kiosk that's located here. And I think there's concrete leads from the paved blacktopped area to the deck entrance.
And how long does the deck entrance go onto the bridge, out onto the bridge?
Well, I'm not sure exactly, but maybe 150 feet.
Okay. And then after that improvement, what does the rest of the bridge look like?
It is the unimproved area that they would have seen back in 2017.
So the section of the bridge that we're coming up on now, the unimproved section, is that more indicative of what the entire bridge looked like in 2017?
Yes.
Okay, so now which section of the bridge are we entering onto?
This is the original this is the original of the trestles ties that we're looking at the top of the bridge, on the top.
Now, I notice a platform there. Were there other platforms throughout the length of the bridge?
Yes, there are.
Do you know how many there were?
I don't. Now, I can't say for sure, but I think there's 3 or 4 of these situated along the area between the improved section and the end of the bridge.
Are they all on the same side of the bridge?
No, they're on different sides. As you can see, one is on the right-hand side, other one's on the left-hand side.
And this section of the bridge would have been what the entire bridge looked like back in 2017.
One caveat, at that time, that area was not as well grown over as here now, because you aren't able to walk out onto the bridge. At least they don't do it near as much. At that time, it was more cleaned off. People would break the limbs off, or whatever it was, that tree, they'd break it off.
So there was more traffic on the bridge in 2017 as opposed to today?
That's what I believe, because you can see there's limbs and overgrowth, and the area was not there then.
You're from Delphi, Indiana, correct?
Yes.
You went to graduate from high school here?
Yes.
Lived here your whole life?
Yes.
In your experience with your life here in Delphi, what kind of people typically would cross this bridge in 2017? And I'm going to specify that a little bit. Would adults typically cross this bridge?
Some.
Who was more inclined to cross the bridge back then?
Teenagers, younger people.
I'm going to ask you to pause the video for a moment.
Sure.
Teenagers, younger people, is that correct?
Yes.
We've come to the end of the bridge. Where are we seeing now?
This is the end of the bridge, and we're facing towards the east. And this is Weber's Drive that goes underneath the bridge and back up to Weber's house.
And this end of the bridge, after you get to the end of the trestle, would that be the beginning of Labor's property?
Yes.
Okay, I ask you to play the video again, please, or play the remainder of the video. And that is Weber's Drive that we're seeing underneath the bridge.
Yes, that's correct.
Have a seat back at the witness stand, please. Judge, at this point, I've already moved to admit it, but I'll just submit to the court reporter State's Exhibit, the video 6, and then at the next break, Judge, I will print the photo that we plan to exhibit or entered exhibit as State's Exhibit, I think maybe 7. Yes, sorry, Judge, I can do that now, but I can do it at the next break if that would be more time efficient.
You can do it at the break.
Judge, I don't have any other questions.
Mr. Baldwin,
Thank you, Judge.
Mr. Baldwin, do you want this left you?
Maybe. I don't know. I appreciate it, Nick. Now, just so everybody knows, you were involved in the investigation of the deaths of Abby Williams and Libby German from the very beginning.
Yes.
And all the way up until even a few days ago, correct?
Yes.
The search was called off at 2 a.m. Is that what you said?
Surely before 2 o'clock a.m.
Shortly before 2 a.m. And that's before 4:33 a.m. Is that correct?
Yes.
About 2.5 hours before 4:33.
Yes.
Thank you. On the 14th, were you aware if there were dogs that were going to start searching around the area of the cemetery? If you know,
I don't know. I'm sorry.
there was some. Are you aware if there was any interest about searching around the cemetery area south of the cemetery at some point in time?
Later on, the 14th.
I appreciate that you did that on February 13th, 2024. At least that's similar representation. But you would agree with me that things changed quite a bit in a lot of different ways since 2017, correct?
So,
You testified to some of that. There were improvements to the bridge, right?
yes.
Improvements to the beginning of the trailhead near the Freedom Bridge.
Yes.
some railings you saw up there.
Yes.
And you also, I think, stated there near the end of your testimony that there was more overgrowth and brush along the Freedom Bridge. I'm sorry, the High Bridge as the drone went over it. Is that correct?
Yes.
So visibility back in 2017 from the bridge, either east or west, would have been better in 2017 than what we saw in 2024.
Perhaps.
And even at the end of the Weber property, it was less overgrowth then in 2017. Is that true? Than in 2024.
That's my understanding.
And the trees were smaller and they grew over the course of 7 years.
Yes.
So the best representation of what it actually looked like. And again, I appreciate that, I think it helps the jury out, but it would have been 2017 videos and photographs if those things exist.
Yes.
No other questions.
Mr. McClelland?
I don't have any redirect, Judge. Thank you.
All right. Does anybody on the jury have any questions for Mr. Mullin? We've got one here in the front. Oh, and in the back. All right, counsel, if you'd approach, please.
Sidebar conference conducted.
What was the thought process of looking downstream?
Okay.
Yeah.
Could you please provide clarity on where the bodies were found? Was it near Deer Creek or the creek reservoir that runs north or south from Morning Heights Cemetery?
That's fine.
Was the drone moving at a pace equal to a normal walking pace? Would it take approximately 9 minutes to walk from the trailhead at Freedom Bridge to the end of High Bridge?
Is that one question, both are together?
I think I can answer that, but that's no problem. It'd be a quick walk.
Yeah.
Sidebar conference concluded.
Sir, what was the thought process when looking downstream?
Looking downstream from the bridge area was the possibility that they may have fallen off the bridge, if I'm understanding the question correctly, that the girls may have fallen off the bridge. As I understand, it's about 63 feet at the highest point, so a fall like that would have injured someone if they'd fallen into the creek and gone downstream. So we were looking downstream to see if they were there somewhere.
Any follow-up, Mr. McClelland?
No, Judge. Thank you.
Mr. Baldwin,
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
could you please provide clarity on where the bodies were found? Was it near Deer Creek or the creek reservoir that runs north or south from Morning Heights Cemetery?
The bodies were found along Deer Creek, but off north of Deer Creek in that area south of the cemetery. Without going to the map, it's difficult to...
Why don't you go ahead and approach the map and
Certainly.
answer that question, please?
Mr. Mullin, here's the pointer. Sorry.
Could you repeat the question, Judge?
Yes. Could you provide clarity on where the bodies were found? Was it near Deer Creek or the creek reservoir that runs north or south from Morning Heights Cemetery?
I'm not sure if I understand the reservoir, creek reservoir, but the bodies were found right in this area here. So I'm not sure where they're referring to the creek reservoir at.
Any follow-up, Mr. McClelland?
Judge, yes, please. Thank you. Mr. Mullin, I'm going to ask you to zoom in on the map, and I want to give the jury some more clarity, but I want to ask a couple questions before that. Did you actually go to the scene?
I did not go to the scene where the girls were at the time they were there.
And so you're not able to give an exact pinpoint of where they were found?
No.
But you know the general area?
Yes, I do.
Okay. You zoomed in on the map, is that correct, for the record?
Yes.
And I'm going to zoom back out a little bit, and can you point out the cemetery? I'm sorry, the name has escaped me. Morning
Heights Cemetery.
That is Morning Heights Cemetery?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to zoom it out for the record a little bit more. And what is the road that connects to Morning Heights Cemetery?
This road along this location here is County Road 300 North. This is Morning Heights Cemetery.
And the question talked about a creek reservoir. Is there a creek reservoir that runs from Morning Heights Cemetery down to the Deer Creek?
I'm not familiar with the term creek reservoir.
Is the topography such that Morning Heights Cemetery is above Deer Creek?
Yes, the area here at the creek is lower. I don't have an exact foot number or a calculation, but it is, well, Morning Heights Cemetery is higher than what the creek is as far as the topography goes.
And it seems like from the picture that there's some kind of ditch or ravine running this way. Is that true?
Yes. As far as I'm aware of, there is some sort of a erosion area here, but the deepest part of the gorge or valley runs in this area here.
And now that we have the map zoom, can you point out the area where the girls were found?
My understanding is they were located right in this area there, right here.
Were they in water?
They were not in the water.
So they were not in the Deer Creek?
Correct.
They were on dry land?
Yes.
Okay, I don't have any other questions, Judge.
Any follow-up, Mr. Baldwin?
I do, Judge. And where the girls were found is in a flat area, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And
I would correct that, not exactly flat, but it was more level than some of the other areas out there.
okay, and you've been to the Weber property,
Yes.
and can you point out where that is?
Yes. This is the Lever home. This is Weber Drive.
Have you been at the Weber home?
Yes, I have.
And you can, the Weber property, the Labor home is up here, and where those girls were found is down here, correct?
Yes.
And from the Weber property, you can see the area where the girls were found from his patio.
Judge, may I ask a few foundational questions? I'm going to object to that question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Did you ever go over to the Weber property and look over to the area where the girls were found?
Yes, I did look over in that area, but I wasn't able to see.
When did you do that?
I think on the 27th of February. Was in February
Of 2017?
2017? Yes.
And were you able to see where the girls were found?
I was not.
Okay. I guess I'd withdraw the objection, Judge. The foundational questions answered Mr. Baldwin's question. He asked, would you be able to see? I'm going to object to that question. I'm okay with the question, could you see?
Sustained.
Could you see the area, maybe not where the bodies specifically were found, but generally see in that area where the bodies were found?
I was not.
Thank you. No other questions?
You may step back there.
Have a seat back up there.
Retake the stand. There's a couple more questions. Was the drone moving at a pace that would be equal with an average walking pace?
Thank you, Judge. Good question. So when we did the drone footage, I wanted them to move at a pace which was similar to one walking down the trail. Now, is it an adult walking? Is it a teenager walking? There's some variation there. So the original footage we had was 1x. We multiply it by 2, so it looked more what it would be like when someone was, teenager was walking. It may have moved a little fast. It may have moved a little slow. It was difficult to mimic exactly that particular speed.
Any follow-up?
So the video that we saw, that was 2 times, you say 2x?
Yes,
That was fast forwarded 2 times the original speed of the drone footage.
that's right.
Am I saying that correctly?
Yes, you are.
Okay. All right. I don't have any other questions, Judge.
Mr. Baldwin?
No, Judge. Thank you.
Would it take approximately 9 minutes to walk from the trailhead at Freedom Bridge to the end of the High Bridge?
Somewhere in that vicinity, I suppose, give or take, maybe 2 minutes.
Okay. Any follow-up, Mr. McClellan?
No, Judge.
Mr. Baldwin?
9 minutes you think it took from the Freedom Bridge? Most people 9 minutes to get from the Freedom Bridge to the High Bridge?
No, the question is to the end of the High Bridge.
Oh, I'm sorry. From the beginning of the High Bridge to the end of the High Bridge.
No. The question is, would it take approximately 9 minutes to walk from the trailhead at Freedom Bridge to the end of the High Bridge?
Okay, thank you, Judge. So you believe that, give or take 2 minutes, it would only take 9 minutes?
Just a guess. At this point, you have to take into consideration the nature of the bridge and whether they want to go quick or slow, given the spacing between the rails. Sorry, it's hard to guess. That was the speed we did the drone at.
Even from the Freedom Bridge to the beginning of the High Bridge, you would think then that would take less than 9 minutes. Is that what you're saying?
The original footage was 20 minutes.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Mullin. You may step down.
Thank you.
You may call your next witness.
Judge, the next witness will be examined by Ms. Diener, so I'm going to let her call the next witness, Judge. Thank you.